In the early 1930s, on a small farm in the windswept town of Gander, Newfoundland, a Newfoundland dog named Pal bounded through snowy fields. His thick black fur a stark contrast against the white landscape. The Hayden family adored their gentle giant, a dog known for his loyalty and love of play. At 130 pounds, Pal was a force of nature, pulling children on sleds and chasing after planes landing at the nearby Gander Airport, a vital refueling stop for transatlantic flights. His drooling grin and playful spirit made him a favorite among the townsfolk, but his size would soon set him on an extraordinary path. One winter day, Pal's exuberance led to an accident. While playing with a 6-year-old girl, he accidentally scratched her face with his massive paw, leaving a deep mark that required medical attention. The Haydens faced a heart-wrenching dilemma. Some in the town called for Pal to be put down, fearing his size made him a danger. But the family couldn't bear to lose their beloved companion. Instead, they made a fateful decision. They offered Pal to the Royal Rifles of Canada, a regiment stationed at the Gander Air Base to protect Allied planes during the escalating tensions of World War II. The soldiers welcomed Pal with open arms, renaming him Gander after his hometown and jokingly promoting him to sergeant, complete with stripes on his collar. Gander thrived among the troops, his presence a morale booster during long, tense days. He'd nap on the veranda, drool pooling beneath him, or bound after the men during drills, his deep bark echoing across the base. The soldiers saw him not just as a mascot but as one of their own, a furry comrade who brought warmth to the cold Newfoundland nights. In October 1941, the Royal Rifles received orders to deploy to Hong Kong, a British colony under threat from Japanese forces aligned with the Axis powers. The Battle of Hong Kong would mark Canada's first land engagement in the Second World War, and the soldiers refused to leave Gander behind. Smuggled aboard the HMCS Prince Robert, Gander endured the sweltering journey across the Pacific, his thick fur a burden in the humid heat. Fred Kelly, his handler, spent hours cooling him with showers, ensuring the Newfoundland stayed comfortable as they approached the bustling, vibrant city. Hong Kong was a stark contrast to Newfoundland's quiet fields. The soldiers, flush with pay, explored nightclubs and markets, while Gander adjusted to the heat and chaos. For a few weeks, life was peaceful, with Gander lounging in the sun or trotting alongside patrols. But on December 8, 1941, the day after Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, Japanese forces launched a surprise assault on Hong Kong, violating international law as they hadn't declared war on the British Empire. The Royal Rifles, alongside the Winnipeg Grenadiers and other Commonwealth troops, were thrust into a desperate defense of the island. Gander's instincts kicked in immediately. On 3 documented occasions, he proved his worth beyond that of a mascot. During an early skirmish, as Japanese troops landed on a beach, Gander charged, barking ferociously and snapping at their legs. His size and fury startled the enemy, halting their advance and giving the Canadians time to regroup. In another nighttime battle, a group of wounded Canadian soldiers lay helpless on a road as Japanese forces approached. Gander, his black coat blending into the darkness, lunged at the enemy, growling and biting at their heels. The Japanese, unnerved by the black beast, changed direction, sparing the wounded men from discovery. But it was during the Battle of Lai Mun on December 19, 1941, that Gander's courage would cement his legend. The Royal Rifles were pinned down under heavy fire, their position precarious. Captain Gavy's unit, including several wounded soldiers, huddled in a shallow trench as Japanese troops pressed closer. Amid the chaos, a grenade arced through the air, landing dangerously close to the injured men. The soldiers, unable to move under the hail of bullets, faced certain death. Gander, positioned near the wounded, didn't hesitate. With a swiftness that belied his size, he darted forward, snatched the grenade in his mouth, and bolted away from his comrades. Some later said he must have sensed the danger, having witnessed the devastation of explosions in prior battles. Others believed he thought it was a game of fetch, a deadly misunderstanding born of his playful nature. Whatever drove him, Gander ran toward the enemy lines, the grenade clenched in his jaws. Seconds later, the explosion tore through the night, killing Gander instantly. But his sacrifice saved at least 7 Canadian soldiers, who would carry his story for decades. The Battle of Hong Kong ended in defeat on December 25, 1941, with surviving Canadians enduring brutal years in Japanese prison camps. In those squalid conditions, Gander's memory became a beacon of hope. Soldiers whispered tales of the Black Beast who terrorized the Japanese, chuckling as they recalled how interrogators questioned them about Canada's supposed secret weapon, a giant animal trained for war. The prisoners said nothing, letting the myth grow. Gander's heroism wasn't forgotten. In 2000, nearly 6 decades after his death, the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals awarded him the Dickin Medal, the Victoria Cross for Animals, for his acts of conspicuous gallantry and devotion to duty. Fred Kelly, his handler, accepted the medal alongside a Newfoundland named Rimshot, who stood in for Gander. The citation read, "For saving the lives of Canadian infantrymen during the Battle of Lai Mun on Hong Kong Island in December 1941. Twice Gander's attacks halted the enemy's advance and protected groups of wounded soldiers. In a final act of bravery, the war dog was killed in action gathering a grenade." Gander's name was etched on the Hong Kong Veterans Memorial Wall in Ottawa, alongside 1,975 men and 2 women who served in the battle, at the insistence of survivors who saw him as a fellow soldier. In July 2015, Gander Heritage Memorial Park in Newfoundland unveiled statues of Gander and his handler, crafted by sculptor Morgan MacDonald, capturing the dog's proud stance. Another monument in Bass River, Nova Scotia, honors his sacrifice, inspired by an 11-year-old boy's school project. Today, Gander's story endures as a testament to the bond between humans and animals. His Dickin Medal resides in the Canadian War Museum, a symbol of a Newfoundland dog who, in a moment of chaos, chose to protect his pack. Whether he understood the grenade's danger or simply acted on instinct, Gander's sacrifice saved lives and inspired a legacy that echoes through time. In the quiet town of Gander, where planes still land and take off, the memory of a very good boy lives on, forever a hero.